My name is Brian Pratt. I ran Cambrian Patrol from 2000 till 2013. I'm an ex-parachute regiment, W1. I did a full 24 years parachute regiment, loved it. The Cambrian Patrol job come up, I applied and I was lucky enough to get it. To come and live in Brecon and have a job where you're on the hills in Brecon Beacons to plan a military exercise, 2 parallel routes over about 40 miles each, I thought was right up my street. The weight of responsibility on your shoulders. A lot of patrols coming in to do an exercise I planned. It's really got to make sure you try and do your best. A lot of the basic skills haven't changed. Admin in the field, looking after your men, you're only as fast as the slowest man. All this sort of stuff was relevant then is relevant now. The weather is a major factor on this exercise, because if the weather comes in, and we've had snow in October before, we had a lot of rain, that makes a difference. So you've got to have areas in that exercise you can put it back on track, because the whole patrol will slow down. Mid Wales is hilly but not mountainous. In October the weather can be quite dramatic, and these build up for your challenges. So instead of just doing a long walk, you've got hills, you've got tough terrain, and night moving with fences. It's a tough old area. There's a saying that the Battle of Waterloo was won on the plain fields of Eton, and the Battle of Falklands was won on the training area of Sennybridge. One year I did 140 farms to get an exercise through. And the way you plan the route is you've got to walk it. You've got to walk it day and night. And if you don't do that, and I would walk the routes 10 or 11 times, I would make sure I'd walk the night phases in the dark, because if you don't do that, you will have problems once the exercise starts. It's just speaking to infantry units and the infantry guys who were coming on the exercise to make sure our stands were relevant to what's happening in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and places like that. So we would try and replicate what was going on our Cambrian Patrol stands. It's a great experience for British patrols, fantastic training opportunity, second to none. International patrols come to UK a week before, they'll stay with a British unit, make some good friends. To compete against other patrols, soldiers like to compete. Competition is great, that's what makes it so enjoyable and a great experience for them. When I was a sergeant, OC pulled me in and said, right, you're going on Cambrian Patrol with the team. In '89 there was 10-man patrols, it was over 4 days, an absolutely horrendous weather, and during the event our team got a silver, but the experiences we had were unbelievable. Not like normal training, these were real-time experiences, exposure, looking after your troops, feeding yourself correctly, and managing for so long without any sleep and producing the goods. It was a great experience. By the end of my time, and I did 12 Cambrians I think, I could look at a piece of land and I knew who the farmer was, and I built a rapport, and I'm still friends with some of the farmers and landowners today. You know, I've got a good feel for the area. The farmers in Wales, a lot of them are remote, they like to do their stuff with the military, but they also don't like it if you don't tell them. So if you keep them informed and they feel part of the exercise, they would move cattle for me, sheep for me, leave lights on in barns at remote areas to help them navigate across the remote areas. Can't thank them enough, really. There's not many other events out there doing this. There used to be a thing called the Swiss Commando Raid, a smaller exercise called Exercise Lombardia, but for a whole experience, one of the best out there.